What do advocates who fought for tougher gun control in this country think of that debate? Heidi Rathjen is a survivor of the Polytechnique Montreal massacre and a representative, with PolySeSouvient. Ms. Rathjen, welcome to the program. Thank you so much for making the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So we played part of the debate that ensued over the buyback program itself and obviously included the minister's comments. I wanted to ask you, though, why, in your view, that program is an important tool for the government?
Well, I don't think it's important for the government. I think it's important for Canadians. Poll after poll over the years has consistently showed that around 80% of Canadians want to ban assault weapons like the AR-15, semi-automatic, military-style weapons that are commonly used in mass shootings. And so this is about public safety, and it's also about democracy, because we've been waiting for this measure for so many years, and we have a Liberal government, maybe a different one than the Trudeau government, but the Liberal government has been elected 4 times in a row on a promise to ban assault weapons. And no matter what the difficulties are and the challenges and all the politics around it, the fact remains is that this is a public safety measure, and it's supported by most Canadians, and we deserve to have it, have this promise fulfilled quickly and effectively. That's what Mark Carney promised, that he would do things differently, because certainly this file has been the subject of much mismanagement and delays and lack of rigor. And so now we are counting on Carney to make sure that his minister gets it right.
The criticism that was levied last week toward the government over this program specifically was kind of, if I could sum it up or paraphrase it, was kind of like, these aren't the weapons that you have to worry about. You should be more focused on the border, for example, where we know there are, illegal weapons that are being used in these gun crimes, or other measures that might be more effective. How would you respond to that? And what is it that you think will be effective about this program?
Well, first of all, gun crime, there's all kinds of situations where guns are misused. And gun control is more than about one measure. Like banning assault weapons targets one specific misuse of guns, which is mass shootings. And nobody's ever said that banning assault weapons will solve the illegal handgun issue. What needs to be understood, though, is that the gun lobby and the conservative governments are going around quoting 80% of gun crime is committed with illegal handguns, for example. That is not true. The 80 or 90% applies to handguns only and urban crime only. And it's true that in places like Toronto, 80% of gun crime is committed with illegal handguns. However, across the country, these are RCMP numbers. They did a study over 4 years of guns seized in crime. Most are domestically sourced, 73%, and most are long guns. Now, it's not our position to pit one type of gun crime against another. We say we can battle all kinds of misuse of guns through various measures, and one doesn't prevent another. But if we want to prevent mass shootings, where most of the time in Canada and the United States, the mass shooter is the legal owner of the guns used. This was the case at Polytechnique, at Dawson, at the Quebec Mosque, numerous times when police officers were shot, including 3 in Moncton, 3 RCMP officers. They're shot with legal assault weapons. So banning assault weapons is the first thing to do if we don't want to go down the road of the United States, where they have a mass shooting every single day.
There's also another gun that your group is advocating go on that list of banned weapons, the SKS. The government has said it's reviewing that ask, but has also, in various statements that I've read, pointed to, for example, Indigenous use as something that it has to consider. What, in your estimation, is the case for putting this on that list?
Well, we totally recognize that the SKS is a very particular case because number one, it's inarguably an assault weapon. It was designed for the Soviet Army for the Second World War. Second of all, it is also commonly used for hunting, because at some point after the war, they dumped a whole, thousands of these surplus models onto the Canadian market, very cheap. So that's probably the reason why it was they always kind of delayed dealing with the SKS, and it's not part of the the ban, which is otherwise we feel comprehensive. So that's why we proposed a compromise. At the very least, ban new sales of SKS so that new assault weapons don't come on the market. And then we'll deal with those that exist. We propose to at least remove from circulation modern versions, which are very different than those that were produced before the Second World War, which I mean, gun experts and gun enthusiasts, they call them quasi-AR-14s. These have to be removed from circulation. And for the older versions, we're okay with having a special exemption where they can remain in circulation in the hands of their owners. In other words, be subject to grandfather clauses. Now, these proposals we had communicated to the government a long time ago, and unfortunately, the important thing, and I think for most taxpayers who support the buyback is like me. We want gun owners to be compensated fairly. That's part of the whole ban on assault weapons. But we don't want our money to be used by a gun owner who just surrendered their assault weapon to turn around to buy a new assault weapon. That would mean that hundreds of millions of our taxpayer money will end up in the coffers of the gun industry, and we'll still have a market with a huge loophole which will allow assault weapons to continue to come on the market, because the SKS is it's very special, it's a very versatile weapon on which many different versions can be built. And so the market will adapt, and we'll have Canada will be full of SKS assault weapons, as opposed to having a comprehensive ban and our taxpayer money used judiciously to as an investment. It's a lot of money, of course. We can see that it's a lot of money, but it's an investment in our future to make sure Canada doesn't go down the road of the United States in terms of mass shootings.
I'm going to leave it on that note. Ms. Rathjen, thanks so much for making time for the conversation. I appreciate it.
Thank you again for having me.